Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to another educative tutorial on this channel. In this video, we'll be learning how to cut and sew the basic hijab from scratch. So these are the materials I'll be working with: my chalk, my tape measure, my ruler, and my scissors, and of course the fabric I'll be working with. For this, I'll be making a toddler's baby hijab. So we use the same type of method and measurement style for any size of hijab. So you can derive any size from this toddler size of hijab. So I'll be making use of this scrap fabric. So to determine the actual material you'll be needing for this style of hijab, you multiply your front measurement, the front length of the hijab, by 2, and if the wideness of the material is enough, and then you confirm if this side this folded side, if it will be enough for the back too, because this folded part will be for the back and then the open part will be for the front so to get the measurement of the back, you add from at least 4 inches to 6 inches to the front measurement to get the back measurement. So the measurements I'll be needing are the face circumference, the front length of the hijab, and from the front length you can determine the back length, and that's all for the measurement needed for the basic hijab. So I'll start the cutting now. So for the front length of the hijab, I'll be using 15 inches for a toddler size. So what I'll do first before marking out the front length of the hijab is to add 5 inches to the front length to get the back length. So this is where I'll be marking out the back from. So 15 plus 5 is 20 inches. I will mark out my 20 inches. And before doing this, it is necessary to confirm, since I'm using a stretchy fabric and there's no need for adding sewing allowance for the face circumference. So I'll make sure I confirm the most stretchy part of the fabric. This part is stretchy and this part is not stretchy, so that is why it is folded this way. So I've marked out my 20 inches. Then from this point, this is the length of the back here, and this is the starting point. So from this starting point, I will mark out my front length, which is 15 inches, but I'll be adding half inch for the hem allowance. So it's not the M allowance is not needed, but should in case. So this is my 15.5 inches point. So I'll be connecting it with my straight ruler, like so, like so. So this is the front and this is the back. So that's that for the marking out. So to determine the shape of the hijab now, I'll start by placing my tape measure here, and then my 20 inches. This is my 20 inches already marked out. Then from this point, I'll move the tape measure a little bit. I'll ensure that this point is still fixed here. Then I'll connect it in a curved manner. I'll still mark out I'll add I'll deduct half inch from the 20 inches. So that is how I would do to get the curved shape of the basic hijab till I reach a point where it won't be needed. So that is 19.5. I'll move a little bit further again, and then I'll deduct half inch from the 19.5, then that will be 19 inches. I'll do the same thing. I'll continue repeating the process. This is 19.5. Then again, I'll move forward, and that will be 18.5. So from 20 to 19.5 to 19 to 18.5 to 18. And then when I notice that from this point there won't be need again, I'll just use my free hand to connect to the front part, like so. This is the front part. So because it is a toddler's hijab, the width is not as much as if I'll be cutting an adult's own, but it is the same process. So that is that. I'll cut the markings out, and then I'll start from here. So this is what I have for the hijab. This is the front with an opening, and this is the closed part which will serve as the back. So what I'll do now is to notch this part to indicate the center of the hijab, and then I'll cut the cap for it. I will cut the cap from the scrap of the fabric. So when cutting the cap too, I will ensure that I take note of the most stretchy part of the fabric. So this is the part that is stretchy, and I'll fold it this way, then I'll fold it again. For the cap, I'll be cutting out 6 inches because it's for a toddler, 6 inches for the length, and then 3.5 for the wideness. This is the length and this is the width. So 6 inches. This the 6 inches is with this seam allowance. Any seam allowance that you use, but the 3.5 inches, that means the actual measurement to be used is the 3 inches, and then the 0.5 is for the seam allowance. So I will connect from this point, I'll connect it to this using my free hand. Then I'll cut it out. This is what I have for the cap. Then I'll also notch the center, and then when sewing, I'll place I'll open this up. It's giving like a semi-circle shape. So then I'll look for the notch part and place this notch part on it. Then I'll fix it this way. Will take it to the sewing machine. I will show you the next thing to do. So for the sewing part of my hijab, I've already passed my thread through the needle and the under. So I'll start by joining the cap first, and I'll be starting that from the center so that I can have an accurate stitch. One side it won't fall to one side than the other. So that's the essence of starting the stitching from the center. So I'll do this. I'll make sure the edges are always well aligned while stitching.
continue from the center again to join the other side. If you follow this process and use them, you have a neat finishing with your hijab, and it will almost be like a ready-made after stitching. So I will follow through. So this, and I'll take this to my inner interlocking machine to overlock this edge. So this is what I have after interlocking the rough edge. So what I'll do next is to top stitch it to give it a flat look. So I'll top stitch it. So I will be top stitching it twice, so it's a unique look, which is quite optional. I'm just top stitch it once, which is enough, but I'm deciding to do it twice. While top stitching, I will ensure that this side, this bulgy side, is facing inward and not towards this side. So I'll top stitch it the second time now, using this side of the presser foot as my guide. So this side of the presser foot, this part, I'll on the first stitch, then I'll start my second stitch, and I will ensure that it's always on that the line of the first stitch. It always follows the line, so that to serve as a guide like this. Can you see what I'm doing? So the essence of this second one is to make it look better. The first one is enough, but the second will give it a better look, better finishing. So this is what I have. So after iron, look very flat. So what I'll do next is to place my hijab here like this, and then I'll start the stitching from the down part. But before doing so, I'll take the measurements of the face circumference first. So what I measured here for closing the face circumference here is the basic one, but depending on how stretchy the fabric you are working with is, this one is very stretchy, so I can as well close it up to this part. I'll close it to this part, and then this is more than enough to enter the owner's head and be firm. Instead of doing that, let's say the fabric I'm working with is not this stretchy, what I will do next is to, after closing it to this point, I will just go in here like so, here, and then stitch on it, then stitch the other side too. But here the fabric is stretchy, so I'll have to close it because the what will be left is more than enough to make it lay firm on the owner's head or face rather. So this is what I have. Then I'll go over to my overlocking machine and overlock this part. So now the next thing to do is to hem these edges. So just fold it in twice and place it on my machine. And while doing so, I will be following the shape of the cuff. I will just follow the cuff. Since it's not straight, I'll be following it. You can also decide to overlock this edge, but and then your hijab is ready. But I'm using this method for the sake of so while cutting this, remember we added allowance to the length of this. We added 1 inch because of this. And if you are using the overlocking, you don't need to add any allowance. This is what I have after ironing the edges. So you see now that it's laying flat. So to give effect or finishing look like this, see how this one is looking. So to give it something of this nature, I'll also use the presser foot, this side of the presser foot, this side. I'll use it as a guide for these two. So I'll place my hijab this way, so that this line will fall out this side of the presser foot. and I'll follow this line to give you this a second stitch. I'll make sure I continue this line, this first stitch line. When you use this method, your hijab will look almost like a ready-made industrial ready-made hijab. And you will have a finishing. So this is what we have after hemming the edges of our hijab. So what I will do next now is to give it a neat press so that all this rough part will lay well. So I'll do that. Make sure you remove all the threads. It's a final look of our hijab. See the hem, see how it looks like, and then you give it a neat press and you have your hijab already. Thanks for watching.